Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. and I was born July 4th, 1986. And today I want to talk about some dogs in a way that if I get any feelings, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know you. I don't know anything about your systems, your styles, or your results, your whatever's going on. But when I keep on seeing something that I just keep on putting smiles on people's faces and making them just really, really appreciate their dogs even more. So simple things that I just need to talk about. And the simple things I want to talk about are the simple things that it really does require to be able to get people the true success that you're looking for. That the simple things that I just keep on speaking about day by day, I do the simple things myself. It's not like I'm just saying something and doing something different. And the simple things that I say to keep on doing each day, which is, for one, do nothing. For two, get up and do something, as far as go out and walk your dog. But when your dog is reactive, do nothing, just walk. Your dog is a little scared, do nothing and just keep going. And just keep doing nothing, allowing your dog to see that. And then the main thing is get it up and doing it and doing it and doing it. Spend an hour, spend 2, spend 5, spend 8, spend as much absolute time as you can. The more time that you spend out doing stuff with your dog, the better you're gonna get and the faster you're gonna get it, and the more that you're gonna be more and more happy with your dog. But the less time that you put into it, just expect it. You're not gonna really see what you're looking for. But that's the number one thing that I think that I've really come to realize is this stuff is simple. And the more that we try to complicate it, the more that we're getting more complicated results. The results where you just have to do a lot of just this and a lot of that. You know, I don't know it all. I just know what I do. I know what I see. I know what I understand. I know what I just have a feel in a moment a lot of times with what I do. I do not go to somebody and say, this is what we're going to do with your dog to get them to be good. It's 100%. I go in a complete blank slate, a complete beginner's mind. Every single dog that I see, I'm looking at that dog. What does this dog right here need right now? What does this owner right here need? I don't have if you get your dog to this, you get your dog to that, then they're going to be good, because that's pretty much never been the case for me. I've never been able to get a dog to do a good sit stay and they stop having dog-to-dog fights in the household. I've never been able to do that. I just haven't had any success. I've never had success with convincing a dog to be at a perfect heel and it doesn't react at dogs anymore. I've just never had the success. The things that I work, that I do. I've never had the success of having a perfect recall and that dog just is no longer reactive to other dogs, and I've never had the success. Just me. You know, someone else may have had the success, but I've just never had the success with having a dog stay on a place bed and reinforcing it that they know they have to stay there, or else, like to the point of it's lava that you're going to die if you get off of that bed. That's how much pressure you stay on there. It still doesn't get the reactivity. It still doesn't get the dog-to-dog aggression fighting going on inside the household. It still doesn't fix any of those issues. I've just never had success with it. I see what other people are doing, and I just personally don't see the success, because that's why you don't post the videos and talk about it or say that it works or say this, because you're still requiring the need on a whole lot of things. And that's why for me, I don't know what it is, but dog training is so simple. It's so simple. And it's something that every single one of us as human beings has the capability of doing. But it's something that we are like looking all these different places to try to get help, and we're not actually getting help, because all these other places are trying to put you on a formula, on a this is what you need to have a nice dog. And no one is getting, not no one, but just majority of people are not getting what you're putting into it. And it's something that I'm going to say that there's a comment that I got that they're 100% right on. Man, this dog training, just standing here and doing nothing, letting my dog bark at a statue and doing nothing, standing here for an hour, standing here for 2, standing here for 3, standing here letting them watch buses, standing here out of the dog park and just letting them bark at dogs, standing here and just doing it. This is boring. And I'm going to say right here, right now, dog training people is boring. It is like, it's stupid boring. It is just like god-awful boring. It is worse than, you don't like the Bible the way I read it, you read 2 words and you're like, it's dry. You want to go to sleep tonight? Grab you the book of Genesis, go to chapter 18 and just read the first couple of words in there and you're going to fall asleep. Seriously, it's like, if you're not in it, you don't understand it, you're not passionate, you're not deep in loving, watching animals and being in animals, it is the most boring thing that you're ever going to be a part of in reality. And that's the problem that I think a lot of us run into. That we want to try to like make it fun and make it exciting. But the more fun and exciting that you make it, the more that you're having more issues. Because there's one thing that I just can't stand personally with a lot of this saying a cue or command and then saying like free, break, release, okay, whatever, and all those words to like get the dog out of it. So if you got your dog at a perfect heel and then you say heel and then a dog is walking there and then you say okay, when you say okay, that's the time for me that I want to know where my dog, that's the training. The training of getting the dog in that heel position is just some cute looking TV show stuff. But once you say okay and allow that dog to be a dog, now what's going on? Now what's happening? And we like to make it exciting in those cases where you're giving them the treats. And it jazzes the dogs up. So you say, okay, you did good. And then you give the dog the treat. You give the dog a toy play session. You give the dog all this excessive praise. Now every time that you say release that dog, it's going to be like, oh yeah, holy crap, the world is awesome. And you're never going to have, not never, but you're going to have very, very minimal control over that dog once you allow that dog to just do what it does. And that's where I think a lot of us are struggling with, because we want to make this dog training stuff look fun, look exciting. Look, we're doing all these things and it's so fun. We're all running around and we're doing all these play sessions. But at the end of the day, it's actually going backwards with giving you a nice, calm, relaxed dog. It's giving you a stressed, I'm going to say stressed, and I don't care. Anybody can challenge me on that. When a dog is in that perfect heel and it's just doing what it's doing, it looks pretty. Because a dog is just like, it's doing what it's doing, but it's stressed because it knows it has to do that. It has no choice. And if it messes up, there's a said consequence. And even if you are just doing straight treats and not giving it leash pressure, the consequence is it's not going to get the treat if it slips up, it messes up. So it's stressed in that state. It's in a constant state of stress, just, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And then you finally say, good job, and you give him the treat, it's like, yeah, and it just blows up and goes crazy. That is creating what I just see is chaos over and over, just mass amounts of chaos. And I still just, every day I go for walks, I see the differences of the training styles. I can tell the people that are working on this system, that are working on this system, and working on the I just don't give a crap, my dog is just out here system. And in reality, the people that I don't give a crap, I'm just walking my dog, they're the ones that have the nicest dogs, as opposed to the ones that are trying this technique and trying this technique and trying that technique. Because I see it over and over and over again. Someone sees me come, they see my dogs, they see their dog, they're just like, holy crap, and they're like shoving the treat in the dog's face, and the dog is like whipping around the treat. And it's like, we're making things to be exciting when it should just be boring. It should be so dry. It should be just so hang back. It should just be so relaxed. But you know what? It doesn't sell for TV shows. One of the biggest TV shows that really started with the dog stuff was what? The Cesar Millan stuff. Because he was coming in with these dogs that are barking, lunging, savage, biting, snarling. It's exciting to see. But to see the actual behind the scenes, what he's doing, working that dog to get it from crazy to actually being nice, is the most boringest content on the planet that you will never, ever, not never, but most people, unless you're a hardcore love dogs, love this stuff, deep in it, yes, you are going to pay attention to it. But like 99% of the community of the world does not care. They just do not care. Okay, y'all can get up. Y'all can go. They just do not care. They're just like, they're not really in it. So when you're in it, you're in it. I could watch people's dog training videos for 4 hours of a guy just standing there and just giving a dog a treat and giving a dog a treat, walking him around, walking him around. I could do that for hours and hours, but that's not how everyone sees dogs, because it is boring. So we have to make it exciting looking. We have to upgrade it. We have to do the flashy stuff. We have to have the dogs biting on a bite sleeve. We got to have the dogs doing takedowns on people and biting stuff. We got to have the dogs doing this perfect obedience looking heel work and these sits and down stuff and all these things. We got to make it look really good, as opposed to just what it is. Boring, people. Dog training is the most boringest thing that you're probably going to experience in your life with doing something, because you can't talk to them. You can't really communicate with them. You can't really do nothing with them in reality to get them to do what it is that you're actually looking for them to do. You want them to be able to calmly walk places? That's what you do. You calmly walk places. The second that you start introducing all this extra stuff, the toys and the treats and the extra praise and the extra stuff, you are now taking something that should be boring, that you want to be boring, because you want your dog to just hang out. You want your dog to just be able to lay down. You want your dog to just be able to relax. So that's boring, people. That's boring. You're not giving the dog a tablet or a phone or something so they can entertain itself. No, in reality, you're telling the dog to just lay down there and just stare at the world, and that's all that you get. It's boring. As soon as you try to do more to it, the dog is going to want more as well. And that's something that we're struggling with and having to disconnect with. Now, if every time that you stop and you want to have a 15-minute conversation with someone and you want to just constantly keep on entertaining that dog where you're trying to talk to the, yeah, we're playing tug and you're trying to hold conversation, cool. You're that one unique person that just wants to be able to just engage your dog, keep them in something while you're doing something. Where you're going to look at your dog as it's the prize of the world and everything else is just whatever. So you're just holding a conversation, just playing tug. Nobody wants that. We want to just be able to hang out with the dog. And that's boring. It's boring. And the faster results that you get, the more boring it's going to look. The beyond more boring. The more solid results that you're going to get, the more boring it's going to be. The more just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. The more just opening your door and just standing there with your dog and wait for him to calm down and just stand there. This is dog training. Standing here for hours and hours and hours and more hours, and do it again tomorrow, and just standing there, allowing your dog to look and see what's going on so that it can get to a calm state, and just being and just hanging out and just relaxing and just being calm. That's the most boringest thing on the planet. And it's hard to sell someone something that is going to be boring. And that's where, for me, I just have a disconnect with the whole teaching them all the tricks and thinking that you need that, being sold that to say that your dog's gonna be nice if it can do all of these tricks, as opposed to just allowing the dog to be a dog and allow the dog to be able to relax and allow the dog to be able to calm down. So that's where I have a problem personally with just the differences of what's going on this planet. Where someone's gonna charge you $4,000 to say, hey, you got 2 dogs fighting in your house, you're gonna need your dogs to be able to know place and down and sit and heel, and then you do all that. You spend $8,000 for both of these dogs, and then in the end, what still happens 2 days later when the dogs come back home, they're still fighting. I just see that over and over and over and over again. But yet the one method that works is put the dog on leash, and stand there and be calm. 4 hours later, you're not having so much hostility anymore. 8 hours later, the dogs don't even care about each other anymore, because now you've taken the ownership, you've taken the control, you've taken the responsibility to say, I know it's good, and I'm telling y'all what to do right now. And you just stand there and this is what we're doing. And then the next day, you do it again. You stand there, dog there, both on leash, just hanging out. This is what you do. This is all that it takes to be able to get majority of these issues out. And it's so boring. It's just so boring that you go crazy watching it, how boring it is. And that's why majority of the good help that you're ever going to be able to find, you're not going to get anywhere, because they're showing you the extra steps as if you have to do that all of the time. And they're only doing that for the 10% of, not even 5% of the work with training dogs that most of us are taking behind closed doors to do boarding trains. 5% of the time is actually doing the physical, the treats and the luring and all that stuff. 95% of the time is hanging out, introducing them to places, letting them hang out with other dogs, letting them see people, letting them do the boring part of it that nobody wants to deal with. And the more and more that you spend majority of that time doing all the tricks, I'm telling you, the more crazy, just psychotic style dog you're gonna have inside of your home, because it's gonna want that attention all the time from you. When are we gonna sit? When are we gonna heel? When are we gonna down? When are we gonna place? When are we gonna do this? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What is it? And that's the opposite of what majority of people are looking for. If you're in the sport world, do what you do, man. Keep doing what you're doing, but you don't need help from an average random dog trainer out there in the world. You know what you're doing. You're dialed in. But a lot of us are getting jammed up because we're going to people that are trying to tell you that you need this sport stuff to be able to get your dogs to stop being said aggressive, stop being said reactive, stop being said super pushy with you and doing any of that. And it just doesn't help. All it does is it creates a dog that's going to be even more pushy with you. You use more pressure, the dog's going to require and continuously keep needing more pressure. You use more treats, the dog's going to continuously keep on needing more treats. If you're using more toys to shove in them, you're going to constantly keep needing more and more of that. As opposed to doing nothing, you're going to result to doing nothing and having nothing and needing nothing. It's not complicated, but some reason a lot of this information I hear is just starting to become complicated. It's starting to get to the point that it's not making sense. And that's why for me, I don't know what it is, but I just have to talk about the simple things that really does take. Because I can make training videos of what I do. No one's gonna watch it. You'd rather listen to me talk mumbo jumbo. I could just stand here and just say the world sucks, the world is stupid, the world is pathetic, and more people would watch me in reality, as opposed to me just really showing you what it takes to train a dog. Because I have a video of that, standing in front of the door, making a video, showing the dogs just standing there in front of the door. That's dog training right there. That's all that you need to focus on. It's all you need to worry about. It's all you need to do. Is stand in one place, get your dogs to calm down, take one step, they're gonna get up and do it again. Stand in one place, get the dog to calm down, take one step, they're doing what they're doing. You stand in one place, get the dog to calm down, you take a step, and you just keep doing that. After a while, you'll be able to take 3 steps. After a while, you'll be able to take 5 steps. After a while, you'll be able to take 10 steps. After a while, you'll be able to walk wherever you wanna go on the entire planet, and your dog's gonna be fine with you. But it takes an hour or 4 the first time, an hour or 8 the second time, 8 hours the third time. It takes so much time each time. But then you're gonna get to the point that it's just set it and almost forget it. In the reality, you put the dog on a leash especially. Now, if you want to go off leash, yeah, there's more things to work on with that. But on leash, which the majority of people want, which the majority of people only care about, and taking them off leash in places that are like enclosed places where you're not in the woods in the thick of it, that you're nervous your dog's going to go to get a deer or something. But you want to be able to hang out with your dog on leash. And to get your dog on leash requires you to keep the dog on leash and just hang out with the dog on leash and just keep the dog on the leash. That's it. And you just keep doing that day after day after day. You go for a walk and you keep the dog on leash. Day after day after day, week after week, month after month, the dog is going to naturally on its own start coming closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And then it's going to stand right next to your side while it's walking. It's going to look up at you and just say, hey, where are we going now? Because now it's got over all of its extreme excitement of the world. You got him through it over and over and over and over. And then he's like, okay, well, where's the new place now? What are we going to do? And that's what you're looking for from the dogs. I don't like to force any of these commands upon the dogs. I allow it to naturally happen. That's why I'm going to stand in place and wait for the dog to lay down. They always, 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 always lay down at some point. They will always, I have yet to meet a dog that if I stand in one place right here long enough, that the dog does not just lay down. And I don't care where I'm at. In reality, a very high stressful place, it happens sooner than if I just do it inside of my household, sitting by the couch, standing by the couch. It's faster because the dog is going through so much that it's going to get tired. And when it gets tired, it's going to lay down. And once it lays down, all of its energy, all of its everything just gets in, and then it's just looking around like, dang, why the heck was I so stressed about all this out here? Like, why was I so, hey, Johnny, why was I so worried about all this? And then it's just looking around like, man, I'm so tired to get up. But yeah, there's nothing for me to worry about out here. And that's where the magic happens. And all we want to do is just do nothing. I'm telling you, the more that you do, the more that you're going to keep running into issues. I don't know what it is this year so far, but majority of my calls this year have been, my two dogs are fighting. And it is so scary to be in a household like that, where you got two dogs that are going to battle, because you know what happens? You always get bit, because you go in to try to grab them, get them apart, the dog comes back and it bites you, and it hurts, man. It hurts because the dogs, they're in the middle of this fight. There's chaos absolutely going on. And when they're in that fight, you're going to get bit. And it's devastating because you've never seen this before. And usually it always just comes out of, I hear it over and over, people. It just happened. You know, everything was good to go, and then now they're just savagely fighting. But there's small hidden things that's always been going on. And I'm going to tell you, the number one way to get that out is to just have them on leash and do nothing. Because the dogs don't know what to do. They do not know what's expected. They do not know what the boundaries are. They do not know anything. They just do whatever the heck they want to do. They need to understand that we're that one that's going to guide them to the next place. And that's why you put them on that leash, and they always, 100% of the time, lay down. They lay down, and that's just a sense of, from what I understand, which is dogs and watching them and paying attention to them, laying down is a sense of chill, like respect. You're good, man. I don't need to be on my feet to be on edge. You got it. He's going to lay down. You got it, right? Yeah, I got it. Because the dogs look at us like we are extreme. They don't understand how we're so powerful, how we're so smart, how we're so willing, how we're so capable, how we're so just the most loving things on the planet is what we are. They don't understand how we're that way. And it's weird because we look at dogs that way, but yet dogs look at us like that. How do you care so much about me? How are you always there for me? How are you always on time for me? Even if you're not. Even if you straight up neglect your dog, beat your dog, starve your dog, don't do nothing with your dog, they still look at us like that way. They still look at us like we're the greatest, absolute greatest thing on the planet. So when they just lay down, they're just saying, you got it all, man. You take control. I don't need to focus. I don't need to worry. I don't need to stress. I don't need to be nothing. I'm just here. And that's what we want to be able to get our dogs to get to and understand. And then once we get that, then the dogs are at the point now that they're going to start to just give us that level of appreciation of just, thank you, man. Thank you for all of this. Thank you for doing. Thank you for taking control. Thank you for ownership. Thank you for giving me the ease of life to be able to be in without having to do anything extra. And I'm saying dog training is so freaking boring, but there's nothing to sell when it's boring. There's nothing to sell when you just tell someone to just hang out with their dogs and just put them on leash and just have them be with you. There's nothing to sell. There's nothing to sell with that other than, hey, I can fast track you and sell you a leash maybe. I can get you a leash easier instead of you having to get it on Amazon that you can get overnight anyway. So it's not like there's just nothing to sell with that. But there's everything to sell when you say to someone that they need to be able to get their dog to sit. They need this, they need this, they need this, they need it, and then they'll be a good dog. I just still have yet to see a scenario where the dogs are good because they know all of that stuff. They all right at that moment, but they're still not good dogs. They're still just crazy. They're still sporadic. They still do things that you just question, like, what the heck? Like, what's happening? And that's where you need I need more lessons, because now I need e-collar lessons, because now he's doing this and doing that, and I don't really have his control on the leash as I thought I did. And then you're just going deeper and deeper and deeper in to the point that you're still not getting any success. But yet you start getting deeper into the point that now your dog is starting to get a little frustrated with you, a little scared with you, a little nervous, a little anxious, and it's just not going to the place that you want it to go, because you're trying to do extra as opposed to do nothing. And I don't know how to explain this message any differently and anymore, but I'm going to continue to keep on trying to do such a thing, because it's something that more and more people just need to hear. The more that you try to do with a dog, the more that you're going to have to continue to keep on doing in a way that you do not want to do. And someone's going to say, oh, I fade the treats away, or I fade this away, and I fade that away. And that's just not what I'm seeing with majority of every single trainer. I just seen a big, huge grade A trainer the other day on his Instagram just straight up say that. When do I fade the treats away? And he just straight up said, I don't. I'm going to continue to keep on using them. This is what I have to keep on doing. And I know that is just the truth. And I love it when people just speak the truth and they're not trying to dance around stuff. I love it when someone just says, you know what? Someone may say you can fade them away and they'll be good, but they're not going to be as good. They're going to be all right. And I'd rather start and have and maintain all right rather than pay $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $10, $15,000 2 years later and still just have all right. I'd rather buy a slip leash and put the dog and have it on the leash and have all right. You spend $20, and some of these leashes you can get some places for $10. I'd rather you be in that scenario where you have an all right dog that comes back to you all right most of the time, that sits most of the time, that downs most of the time, that'll stay in a perfect down state most of the time. For you having $10 into it and just having an understanding of just hanging out and just chilling with your dog, rather than spending all this money and still having all right, still having to do all this extra stuff to make sure that the dog is going to look good and be good. That's the confusion that I see going on today. And I'm just so grateful. It's something in me that I just like have the Spirit of God moves in some people and just makes them say the straight honesty instead of the deceitfulness that everyone loves to just keep on showing out there. All these, because I used to say this out of my mouth as well because it was what I was taught and what people kept telling me. And people were trying to show me the results. And I was like, well, why do you still? And I would just like not pay attention. It would just like go over my head in reality. Where you're telling me that you're going to be able to fade the e-collars and the treats and this away, but yet you're still doing it with your dog years later. They still have all this stuff. And he was, oh yeah, it goes away. And I'm like, hold on. But why isn't yours going away? Oh, because your dog is this, and it's oh yeah, because every dog trainer's dog is like, you know, the worst of the worst, and their dog is way worse than what your dog is. No, the reason a dog trainer's dog is going to be more challenging is because you try to do too dang much with it. We're always like, oh, look at this and look at this and go this and do this. So our dogs are going to be more challenging because we're doing too much. When you do less, you're going to have a way nicer dog. But when you're trying to do too much, I tell you, that's where you're running into issues. That was all of my issues with my dogs. Because my Border Collie, we came out, we worked animals, we had a good life. But then as soon as I went to dog training school and I was like, oh, I need to do this now, do this now, do this. We were struggling. We were just struggling. Same thing with my Johnny man that was just up here. We were struggling. The day that I literally just said, we just have leash, we go places, we do stuff, we hang out, we chill, we relax, the better he keeps getting. And in reality, he's got what? Thousands and thousands of dollars of training put upon him. And it was worse when I brought him home. As opposed to me doing nothing, he's way, way, way better. Way better. My Dalmatian that I just got, way better already in weeks because I put leash, hang out with her. I put leash, go for walks. I do not expect for her to not pull. In reality, I got her a harness because they're going to be pulling dogs. So I got pulling specific harnesses for them. And she pulls, man. She loves it. I can't let her pull too much because she's still a puppy. But she pulls. And she on her own just comes back from it and looks at me. She's like, what you doing back there, man? I've been up here pulling for the past 2 minutes. What you doing back there? And I'm like, hi. And that's all I do. I look at her, I'm just like, hi. Every time she looks at me, she's like, oh, that seems like it's more exciting back there than it is up here. And I'm like, it might be. See if it is. And I do nothing. All I do is go for walks. And she's better and better and better every day. Now today, I've already started to put the word of heel. And she understands it. Well, my other dog helps her out as well because he already knows it. But I say it and she backs down and she starts to come down naturally, all on her own. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just, when I see that she does it all on her own, I'm like, oh, that's looking good every time. And I just find extreme success with doing that, with not forcing them with the treat to get here, not forcing them with the treat to get there, not forcing it with the leash and I said to do this. I just naturally let it happen. That's why when you stand and do nothing and your dog lays down and they just lay down right away, that's when, oh man, that's a good looking down, man. I love this down. I put so much of me behind saying that. So then when they see that, they're like, oh, you are the thing I'm gonna get excited about. Not the play with the tug session, not the treat session, not the even petting and anything session. Just me, my presence, my being is what's getting that dog to just be just extremely excited. That's why they come back to you pretty much all the time. It's never perfect. But I'm not going to put a dog that I just got in a situation where I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm going to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and be patient and be calm and keep doing the same stuff. Hey, guys, leave them alone. They just moved there. They're a little stressed. Come here. Johnny, get down. Get down. That's my breeding flock. They stressed right now already. I don't need them stressing them out even more in there. But that's one thing I will sell you. If you want some copper moraine chickens, I got you. I can't really sell you too much on the simple things that I keep on talking about with the dog training, unless you're in that one specific case that's just wild. And you're like, I'm standing and I'm telling you, it's been a month and I've got nowhere and it's nothing's happening. I'm like, okay, then maybe we need to figure something else out here. But you want to buy something, that's what you can buy right there. You can buy some baby chicks from me or some eggs. I would rather sell the eggs, but because baby chicks is for me, I got dog food. I'm making dog food in the future as well, with whole chickens grinding up and making it into a complete dog food. That's what I could sell. But as far as this dog training stuff, it is the most boringest thing, and it's something that a lot of people just really need to get into your brain. Stop watching all these fancy TV shows. They got them all out there today. I didn't realize how many are out there. I've been out of the TV game for a while. All these TV shows showing all this fancy, cool looking stuff and all this wild, amazing looking things and all this just, oh my goodness, they're jumping out of planes and swimming and doing this and all this crazy stuff, and that is just not real, man. It's set to look a certain way, to get into your feelings, and at the same time to make you feel as if, y'all can get up, to make y'all feel as if, you can get up, Oreo, as what you're doing isn't enough. But in reality, the main thing is, I want to be able to see what your dog is like when you just take it out and just do what you do, and just hanging out. I'm telling you, the people, I can see it in the face. You just don't understand no dogs, training stuff. You just don't care. You're just like, I got a dang dog. I love my dog, and I just go places. And they have the best premium dogs ever that I've ever seen, because they take them everywhere. They do all kinds of stuff with them. They do not put high expectations on them of you have to perform these tricks and be so perfect and so precise with it. They're just like, you're a dog, man. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna bark here and there. You're gonna get excited here and there. You're gonna be a little sad sometimes. And I'm gonna be here to work you through all those things. I'm not gonna try to see you sad and try to give you treats. No, we're just in it together, man. I'm sad, you sad, we moving, we doing forward. You happy, I'm happy, we just happy moving forward. And not putting all this extra in there. The extra, I'm telling you, is what I just personally have come to see, is what's destroying most people's relationships with their dogs. Because you start off doing the extra, I need to get my dog to heal, and you're doing all this luring and all this luring, treat, throwing the treats on the floor. You got treat game going on. And then one day the dog starts to get it and he's doing good, and then you just throw one treat for the whole walk. And then you throw a treat one a week. And then you wonder, why is my dog getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse? Because some people say, oh, put pressure on it. Now you need more pressure, more pressure, more pressure. But why isn't there that balance that the dog just does pretty darn good and be with you with no pressure and no treats, but just be really, really nice, really calm, really chill, and just being able to be there for you, as opposed to all this extraness. And that's where the dogs are gonna start to get frustrated, because they used to just get treats, man. They're like, you just smacking the treats down and going crazy with the treats. And then when you stop that, the dog's like, dude, what the heck, man? What's going on? You used to play tug and do all this stuff and throw the ball and play fetch every other step that you're taking to get the dog to understand and heal. Then you stop doing it. Then the dog's like, what the heck, man? Like, we used to be so at it. Now you just boring. Now you just chill. Now you just don't do nothing. And that's where we need to make sure that everyone's expectations are on the same page here. The being boring and doing nothing is in reality what you're looking for. What you're looking for is that calmness and the hanging out. What you're looking for is that. You're not looking for things to be super wild and all jazzed up and all crazy. Again, if you're cool with having a conversation with your neighbor, you're walking your dog down the street and you want to talk to them, you're just feeding them a treat like this to be able to have a 5-minute conversation real quick, to keep your dog to be able to stay there and be calm and just, hey, hi James. Yeah, I've been walking my dog. He's looking good, isn't he? Everything's going good. How are your kids doing? How's Sally doing? You know, I heard she got into the school, and if that's what you want to do, cool. You know, do what you do. But that's not realistic. That's not realistic. That's some fantasy, fake, outside stuff, man. What's real is boring. Dog's there, you're talking, dog's kind of like yawns, like, man, maybe I'll just take a nap. And he takes a nap, and he just lays down, and you're still chatting. And then you're like, oh man, I've been here for 25 minutes chatting. And your dog literally just fell asleep because he was just bored. And that's real. That's what's real. That's what majority of every single person on this planet is looking for from their dog. They're not looking for this dog that just needs this constant fixated, crazy amount of just, oh my goodness, craziness. And that's what's, I think, is challenging and struggling most people, because they're trying to do too much as opposed to just doing nothing. And when you think that you're not doing anything by doing nothing, but in reality, doing nothing, you're gonna find way more success, way more just good time, way more things looking better by doing nothing, as opposed to doing all the extra. Doing the extra is what's causing you. Hey, Shadow, we good. We good. Just hang out with my chicks. Hey, Shadow, all done. Thank you. And I try to get the chicks to calm down in there, so I put him in there to make them calm down, and he kind of aggravated them a little bit. There's just a wild thing going on in here. They're in a whole new place. But that right there is that's about to be really nice. If you want some baby chicks, I'm telling you, I got you some baby chicks. You want some eggs, I got you some eggs. You want some grown ones? I even got you some grown ones, but I only got a select few. I only got like 80 or so right now. But I got some chicks. I can sell chicken, and they're really pretty, and they're really cool, and they're real calm, they're real docile. They stressed right now because they just in a new place. But you can hold these, pet these, hang out with these. Even the boys, roosters are pretty cool. That's stuff that I can sell to you, and that's stuff that everyone out here should be focusing more on that, as opposed to trying to do these gimmicky things to try to make somebody think that they're going to gain and get success, when in reality they're just not. They're just not. The more that you do, the more I don't know why. The harder you push at trying to make it look better, the more it's not going to get better. But the more you just don't give a crap and do nothing, you do nothing, you just stand and do nothing, the better things are going to get for you. I don't know why it works this way, but it's just the way that I've noticed that the world works out here with everything, with us as well. We're out here as human beings, running around, going crazy, doing extra, doing the most, being wild. I got to go here, I got to vacation this, I got to this, I got to this, I got to this, thinking that all that is going to make you more satisfied, as opposed to just sit down and do nothing. Sit and do absolutely nothing. And then you're going to be able to find some level of success. Hey, Shadow, all done. All done. I know this is all new for you, but we're good. I know he's out running. I know we're here. We're good. I don't need you to focus on me. My chicks are not looking good right now. That's what you need to focus on. Anybody wants a Great Pyrenees, he about to be for adoption here soon. He's not a true working dog that I need. He's too scared. He's too nervous. He's not a working dog at all. He's such a pet dog, and I unfortunately got the wrong dog, and it's taken me 3 years to realize that I've gotten the wrong dog. But today I know difference of what to look for in the puppy. But I definitely need a new Great Pyrenees. He is not at all a working dog. He is too much of a pet. So somebody need a good outside running around the farm dog that is not going to protect chicken, not going to protect goats, not going to protect the cows, not going to protect you, and not going to protect the land. All the things he's supposed to do. That's a good dog for you right there. But doing absolutely nothing, I'm telling you, is what's going to be able to get you into a better place, into a better situation. Doing too much, you're going to keep on fumbling and stumbling. You're going to keep on running into a situation that you're just not sure and this, that, and things aren't working, and why am I struggling, and why am I stressed, and why is this, and why is this faggering, why is this frustrating, and you're just going. And it's just confusing to me. It's confusing on why we would continue to keep doing that, but that's something that I just study more with humans than with dogs. It's why we put ourselves through more chaos, thinking that that's going to bring us better happiness, as opposed to just removing it all and just selling it all and just sitting down and just sitting our thoughts to get our thoughts to go away, to be able to just be in a calm state, our own selves. And it's something that I just see it. Hey, Shadow, we good? Sorry, my neighbor dog out. He got a thing with that neighbor dog. He's scared of him, and he's scared of him a half mile away. I don't even know how far away he is right now. He's a half mile away. You get to see the one dog of mine that is just, well, I don't interact with this dog. He's supposed to be hanging with the chickens. He does a horrible job at it. But do nothing. That's something that I need to start doing a little more probably with this dog, is to do nothing. Now, I've done nothing with him, and he's still not what I need. It just is what it is. Thank you.